Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Scale for Tarkov video. Patch 0.15 is happening. The servers have gone down and the patch notes have been released. We're going to go over the patch notes now, so without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Alright, first up, Precursor. I'm reading the patch notes. This is all the information I have right now. If they release the True Believer Edition that costs $500 straight after this, it's not my fault. I didn't know about it. I'm against it. Blah, 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 blah. All right, Precursor's done. Now let's get into the actual reading of the patch notes. Enhance. All right, first up, factory rework. Now I got to play the new factory in TwitchCon at TwitchCon EU. All textures and geometry of the plant building, its interior rooms, cellars, structures, and machinery have been completely redesigned while maintaining the general dimension and layout of the original location. I'll read this all out and then we'll go through it because there's a bit to talk about. Rooms, basements, and workshops have been refined while maintaining the large-sized objects of the original location. Some areas of the plant and cellars areas that connects all 4 workshops have been expanded. Added outdoor areas around the plant. That's interesting. Added several new crossworks at dead-end locations. Improved the upper level area in the workshop for easier accessibility. Adjusted the spawns and extracts for PMC and scavs to match the expanded areas. Improved the AI behavior for all location layout changes. Redistributed the loot and containers throughout the location and added new tasks to the location. So, it looked a lot cleaner and a lot easier to see. The overpass area was heaps better because it was like you could go all the way along the top of the actual factory. And it says here that they've added outdoor locations. I didn't get to see any of the outdoor locations, but I'm interested in seeing that because it is my favorite map, and I will be starting the wipe in playing Factory because I'm keen to check it out. It is cool that they've added new tasks to it, and from what I experienced, it looked like they would have room to add 1 or 2 more PMCs to the map. So at the moment it's at 6. Potentially next wipe will have more if they wanted to, because I honestly felt like from the changes they made, there was enough room for it. The other cool thing was if you got the forklift spawner in that glass hallway, there was actual ways to get underground and move around the basement cellar area and get out of that like kind of stuck in that shitty little corner area. So hopefully that's maintained, or they've expanded that even more for that. Now the boss Partisan. So this is the Karma boss, I guess we'll call it. Added a new boss called Partisan. Not much is known about his background. People say that he is a combat veteran and has been obsessed with tripwires and booby trapping since those days. He's on good terms with Jaeger. Their goals and moral compasses seem to be aligned. Or perhaps it's their military past that binds them together. Partisan holds firm to his principles in Tarkov, going after people he believes to be honorless and hunting them down, whether they be PMC or scabs. He has no ties to other local bosses and tries not to cross paths with them. His views on traitors is similarly negative, with the exception of Jaeger. Your standing with Fence has no effect on Partisan's attitude towards you, and it cannot be increased or decreased by helping or killing him. Well, that's a good thing. So it means if you kill him, it's not going to affect your karma. Like if you see him, kill it. That's good. But yeah, it's obvious they're saying here that it's the karma boss, right? You got negative karma, he's going to hunt you down. The boss appears in the forest type locations. He's more likely to appear in a raid with low karma PMCs. In this case, Partisan will hunt those players down. If there are scavs with low karma in that raid, they will also become his targets. However, any player has to be ready for the traps and expect a firefight when encountering this boss, regardless of their karma. Partisan prefers a stealthy approach, taking advantage of terrain, setting traps in advance, and only then engaging in open combat. The process of preparing and exploring a location takes up most of his time, while confrontation are less frequent. When fighting against multiple opponents, he can lure one of the players to his booby traps, which he sets up beforehand. The boss acts alone. He installs tripwires, actively uses grenades, can move quietly through the terrain, and track his targets for a long time across the whole map. Yeah, so my opinion of this boss is it's going to be probably like Bird Eye, how he just like he's completely silent and runs around behind you and all that, or like the Cultist. I'm not super keen on completely silent bosses. I hope he does make some noises. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. And it sounds like he's going to be on the outdoor maps, being like woods and other forestry maps. Guess we'll see. All right, Karma. This is probably one of the more controversial topics of the actual whole game since I heard it was coming. Added a hidden Karma parameter. The Karma value changes depending on the player's actions. Generally, it can be increased by adhering to a more open playstyle and decreased for a dishonest playstyle. Who dictates what a open playstyle and a dishonest playstyle is? The number of triggers that can change the value of Karma will always be increasing, and the triggers themselves will be adjusted and balanced further. In some cases, Karma changes can be tracked by a distinctive sound notification. Right. Well, if you do a negative Karma thing, you're going to get a beep. And if you get a positive Karma thing, you're going to get a beep of some sort. All right, here we go. This is the next one. By the way, my opinion on this is as long as it doesn't put a negative flow to the game, I'm okay with it. If this means if you play a particular playstyle and that you enjoy, then and it does, like, it really hinders how you play the game, I'm not keen on that. So for example, if someone wants to extract camp or hide in bushes or whatever they want to do, if they're doing that and that increases or reduces their Karma, so be it, as long as it's not crippling to their gameplay experience. So what I mean by that is, like, if it means that they get negative Karma and then this new boss is in the map and they always die, there's no chance of them being able to fight back or get into a position or that, then that sucks. You know, like, I don't think that's actually a good thing. And we don't even know what negative Karma is going to do. It could be like you kill someone in the extract will give you negative Karma, even though you're fucking fighting for your life. It makes no sense, right? Like, this is what I don't like about not understanding how the mechanics work. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you run into an extract, someone else is there at the same time as you, and you get negative Karma because of that sucks. And there's no information on how to get positive Karma. So how do we even fix it? So if you do actions that make you, like, hindered, how do we repair it? So I guess we're gonna have to find out over time. Someone I'm sure will data mine it or figure it out. Map to map travel. New game event Marathon. During the Marathon event, location transfer will only be available in the corresponding game mode. Marathon is available only in PvP mode. Players will receive a unique achievement for completing the Marathon event. After the event is over, all location transits will become available in all raids. Added the ability to travel from one location to another. To move to another location, the player must enter the transit zone and select the appropriate option in the context menu. Location transits are only available after 7 minutes of the start of the raid. During the transit, the player will be able to transfer some of the items they found in raid, which will be moved to the stash for a certain price. After transferring the items, the transit timer will begin. When activating the transit and transferring items, the ability to exit the current location will become unavailable, and the player will be forced to use the transit. When attempting to transit in a group, players can use the transit only if all living members of the group are in the transit zone. If several players who are not in the same group use the transit at the same time, they will be transferred to the next location together. Solo players can join a group and also transit to the next location together. The available transit directions are marked with a dotted line on the location selection screen. Added the marathon achievement for visiting all locations in one raid. I guess for me, my initial thought of this, like, okay, the event idea is fine, but why? Why would you choose, if you have the option to extract the raid and reset and go again, versus going map to map without, like, extracting? Why? Like, the only reason you would do this is to get an achievement. Questing and faster queues. I don't understand how you're going to get into raids faster. What? They're testing it as an event for future reference. Like I said, I think it's a cool idea for an event. I don't understand why anyone would use it outside of the idea of doing an event, like of getting an achievement. Was there something about an XP multiplier? Added the ability to travel from one location to another. Like, to me, this just seems like cool idea, but I don't know. Not to mention, does it put you in a raid with only transit players? I don't know. Also, it may give the feeling of open world. loot gets better over time. I think it's just putting you in normal rate. Like, obviously, this is something that we're going to have to play and just try out. But at this point in time, cool idea for an event. I don't know why I'd ever want to really do it unless the game forces me through a quest or for the achievement. Tripwires. Added the tripwire installation feature. A single-use consumable item, the Tripwire installation kit, is required to install the Tripwire. The item cannot be found in Raid or bought on the flea market. The kit will be available for purchase after completing Jaeger's task chain. When the item is in the inventory, the player gets access to the Tripwire mode by using the B key on the appropriate grenade. The grenade must be in the hand to switch to Tripwire mode. The Tripwire has a minimum and maximum installation length. It can only be placed on any flat or slightly inclined surface. Tripwires can be activated in a number of ways. By shooting the wire from a short distance, by hitting the wire with an explosive shrapnel, by hitting the wire with any physical object including players, bots, and items. During activation, the tripwire does not explode instantly, but with the fuse delay specified on the grenade's description. Tripwires can be disarmed. To do so, approach the booby-trapped grenade and disarm it through the context menu. Disarming takes a certain amount of time. Having a multi-tool in your inventory significantly reduces the disarming time. After disarming, you can pick up the grenade used in the tripwire. Tripwires disarm on their own after a certain amount of time. Okay, this is probably the one good thing out of this whole section. So you can place them down, but there's a cooldown on how long they'll last. You can disarm them, and you can disarm them faster if you use a multi-tool. You'll be able to physically shoot the tripwire if you want to. So if, for example, you see a door that's been mined, you can actually shoot the wire, and therefore you don't need to actually defuse it. So if there's a player hiding at the end of a corridor and they're stopping you from coming up the corridor, you can actually shoot the wire. And there is a cooldown depending on the time of the grenade. So the only question I really have about that one is, does impact nades blow up instantly, or do they still have a small fuse time? And that's probably the major one with that. I think this one will be all right for the most part. I think by the sounds of it, you're going to have to do a heap of Jaeger quest to even be able to unlock to buy them. And then at the end of that, it's still only going to be very situational. So I think it'll make for fun videos. I think that's probably the main one. Like you'll have someone that will like bait to someone to chase them, and then you'll have someone else that's already got the mine set ready to go, and you'll be able to do some fun little videos like that. I think that's going to be cool, but I don't think it's going to be simple as we're going to lay a trip mine here and walk away for 10 minutes and just watch from a distance. I think the timer will probably be somewhat shorter, but it could be cool. I know I'm going to get frustrated dying to it, but I guess we'll see. Could you jump over it? Well, in my opinion, there's nothing stopping you from just sprinting through it, right? You could sprint through it, and you're going to get far enough away that in 3.5 seconds, you're not going to die. It's more going to be when it catches you off guard, or your mate's behind you, and then you trip it, and no one knows where you tripped it, and they're all running around like crazy, and they'll be like, oh my God, I'm dead. That's how I feel like it's going to be. Like, I don't think it's going to be instant, like, trip over, dead. Because you can still move. So if they attach an impact to it, I believe there'll still be a small timer. You know, it'd actually be cool trying to use it on bosses. I would actually like to see that. I think that would be cool as well. All right, next up. Bipods and weapon mounting. Added the ability to mount weapons and use bipods. To mount a weapon, the player must aim at a suitable horizontal or vertical surface and press the mount weapon key, V key by default. I have, at this point in time, my default key for V is what? Vault. And my double tap is melee. And now I have mount weapon as well. So, lovely. I'm going to have to get a new keyboard. The recoil and stamina consumption is reduced when firing a mounted weapon. To mount the key weapon on a bipod, press the toggle bipod key, Control V, combination by default, then point a suitable horizontal surface and press the mount weapon key. The recoil and stamina consumption and weapon sway is greatly reduced when firing a bipod mounted weapon. Mounting the weapon while prone is only available if the bipod are installed and deployed on the weapon. The icon in the corner of the screen shows whether the weapon is mounted or signals that the given surface is not suitable for mounting. This is something that I think we're all going to enjoy, particularly when it comes to stuff like sniping, Shooter Born in Heaven. They're probably the main ones, but you can also put bipods on other guns, but you're also mounting windows and stuff like that. You know, when you're like there's players coming and you just want to not reduce your arm stamina. I think it's going to make it a lot better. But we'll just have to wait and see. Great idea. Sometimes it's poorly executed. Not sometimes. Sometimes a lot. New hideout zone gear rack. Okay. This is, without reading it, if it's the idea that I had ages ago, which I'm not claiming that I was the one that gave it to him, but you know the cabinets or the clothing cabinets in Rust? I've always said that they should have it there's like a full loadout. You click a button and it just switches it straight across like Rust. If they did that in Tarkov, then when someone's dead, waiting for their mates to get back out of the raid, like lockers, that's it. When you're waiting for your mates to get out of the raid, you could set up like 3 or 4 different lockers. If they've done that, which I think this is what it is, it's going to be awesome because it'll just be so much better. But in what I wish is it was available straight away, so people could just do it straight away. The gear rack is added in the extended part of Hideout and has 3 level upgrade levels. Each level adds a mannequin which can be used to display any gear equipable on your PMC. You can equip the gear from the mannequin or exchange the gear already equipped by your PMC for the mannequin's gear. Pouch slots and special slots items do not appear to equipping and exchanging. Mannequin gear is displayed in the list of kits window. You can equip a kit from the mannequin there. So yeah, it's pretty much the lockers from Rust. And I've been asking and hoping for this for probably close to, I think about 4 years once I started playing Rust back in 2020. I always thought it was a really cool idea to be able to switch kits in Rust. And I was hoping that they'd do something like that to Tarkov. So this is a really solid quality of life thing. You can be like, oh, my mates, like I want to do, or you could be setting up kits for setup, you know, and you just have 5 kits ready to go, or technically 3 ready to go. All right, new hideout zone, Cultist Circle. The Cultist Circle is located outside the main hideout. You can sacrifice up to 5 items on the Cultist Circle. The value of each sacrificed item is added up. This total determines the value of items received as a gift from the cultist. Cultists cannot deliver items while you are in the hideout. If the value of a single sacrifice is above a certain threshold, there is a 25% chance to receive items needed for active tasks or unfinished hideout zones. That is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. If the value of a single sacrifice is above a certain threshold, there is a 25% chance to receive items needed for an active task or unfinished hideout zones. So, hey, need the GPU for your farming part 4? That could be the way to get it. The value of sacrificed items is further increased by the bonuses from Sacred Amulet, Hideout Management Skill. Nice. Players who have purchased the Unheard Edition will have the Cultist Circle built instantly. Pay to win. Pay to win. See? $50 well spent. It's no different to the stash upgrades. It's a little different. No, it's not. The stash upgrades cost 30 million. This probably cost, I don't know, even if this cost 5 million, the stash upgrades were 30 or 40 million to get. All right. AI enemy reaction system. Added a variation in AI behavior when spotting another AI or player in PvE mode. Okay, this is PvE focused. Behavior model is chosen depending on the lore relationship between the factions. Possible reactions: instant aggression and attack. Friendly unless shown aggression. Total friendliness. Warning and attack if not obeyed. Neutral unless shown aggression. So is this for another AI or player in PvE? So this is the PMCs as well. So you're going to have friendly PMCs in PvE mode. Potentially. It's interesting. The choice of whether to be aggressive depends on the mood of the bot and the faction and of the target. For example, if an AI bear encounters an AI USEC, they are more likely to engage them, but not necessarily 100%, than they would be if they encountered another AI bear. The decision whether to be aggressive or peaceful is made for both player scams and player PMCs. The chance of meeting a more aggressive AI PMC varies depending on the location. For example, on Ground Zero under level 20, the bots are more friendly, and in the lab, they are more aggressive. Faction interactions will be implemented and balanced further in both PvE and PvP modes. I think this, like, we could be reading into this, and I could be just, I don't know, is it projecting is the word? I could just be guessing here, but this, in my opinion, is kind of like them saying how the karma system works. Like, potentially shooting bear might, and like if you're PMC bear in Tarkov, and you shoot another PMC bear, potentially your karma might go down or up. I don't know. That's what they spoke about in the past. But I guess if we start hearing beeps when we kill players, then we'll know, hey. All right, new weapons. So we've got the Uzi ×3, the SR3M 9x39 compact assault rifle. This is very similar to the VSS and the AS, the what's his name, isn't it? The AS Val. All right, Desert Eagle. It's in a 50 cal, a 357, and more 50 cal. The M60. Yeah, they're pretty much there's 4 new guns and just different variants of each. The field, I could be wrong in saying this, but I would have thought they would have added like an M249 first. You know, I think it's because they've got the RPD or whatever, right? But like an M249, like a 556 variant would have been something I would have thought they would have added first. But one of the Uzis goes into a pistol slot. Well, there you go. Oh, that's the pistol one there. M60 is going to be crazy fun. I guess we'll see. Updated weapon models. ASVAL, the VSS, the PP19, and equivalents. New caliber, the 50 cal, new ammo, other weapon improvements, new weapon attachments, adjusted the functionality for pistol grips of the Makarov PM pistol. If there is a quick drop button on the grip, the interaction animation with the pistol is changed. Improved the AUG A1 and A3 visuals, updated the grip animation, added a visually operating gas piston. Okay. Added some animation variations depending on the installed attachment for new and updated weapons. Updated the grenade animations. Added new types of equipment, armor, helmets, loot. New options for character customization. Cool. Guess we'll have to wait and see what else is coming with that. Quality of life improvements. Optic zoom adjustments. The ability to smoothly adjust zooms for the following optics. This is huge. This is actually huge. So this doesn't mean like a Voodoo is now a 1x or a 6x. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x. You know? This is actually 8 years in the making. Correct. So it looks like nearly all the sights that are like the more longer ranges. I would actually be interested in seeing the 6.5 to 20x. You could actually use that as a 6.5x now. Or the March 3 to 24. Because that was locked on 24x, I think. So you could actually use this sight now. This is actually a viable sight potentially. Like that's huge. It was stuck on like 16 and 24. There was a variation, I believe. Or maybe it might be a different one I'm thinking of. Like maybe like the Night Force. Sniping is going to be way more fun. I think it'll be a lot better. Like it's not going to be just like, oh, I'm just going to use the Vortex Razor like every other day. Like you could probably use a lot of these other ones. Like the 4 to 16. You know, you might need to put like one of the little side-mounted sights in for to help, but a 4 to 16 could work. It's actually going to be really cool. I'm actually really excited for this change. Long time in the making, but excited for it. All right, default hotkeys for smooth zoom adjustments are Alt and scroll up and down. Simple, easy, happy with that. Selecting grenade with G. A new icon with the hotkey G is available on the quick access bar. It will display a grenade that the player will equip first. You can select the specific grenade by holding G. Holding G and scrolling. Another good quality of life change. The drop-down list will displays only unique grenades with their respective quantities. Flashlight and tactical device operation mode. They added the ability to activate tactical devices and flashlights by pressing or holding a hotkey. Okay? That's like in Delta Force, where like you hold the Y key and you can pick which ones you want to turn on and off. That's what it sounds like. Manual value entry in game setting. Added the ability to manually enter values in the game settings. For example, when adjusting mouse sensitivity. So you can actually type this, which is cool. Hotkey adjustment. Updated the sorting order of hotkeys in the control setting. Action melee weapon has been reassigned to U. That's my discard key. Melee attack has been reassigned to double click U. Okay. BSG updated video of new custom presets in Arena. It's alright, I'll watch it later. Alright, balancing changes. Simplify the objectives for task setup and long road. Nice. I did message Nikita like many a time about how there's too many kills for setup. And hopefully long road is just a bit wider, at least. Maybe some less kills. Completely remove trade offers for class 6 body armor plates, carriers, ballistic plates, and helmet modifications from traders. These items can now only be found in raid. Tier 6 armor is only found in raid from now on. Change the ability of ammo on the flea market. All ammo with less than 42 pen is allowed on the flea market with a few exceptions. That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Increase the damage of 7.62 by 39, 5.45 by 39, and 9 by 29 calibers. Slightly reduce the damage of some 5.56 ammo. Is this the wipe of AK? Is this going to be the wipe of AKs? Increase the damage of AKs, reduce the damage of M4s. Technical changes. Equipment clipping. Implemented the anti-clipping system. Now elements of helmets, glasses, masks, collars, headsets will be correctly displayed on the character with any combination. Animations. Rework the animation of playback system to increase the accuracy of first and third person synchronization where possible. Optimize left shoulder animations for more smoothness. Add a special door interaction animations. The number of interactive object animations will increase further in the future updates. This is the helmet's clipping through, by the way. Like, you know how like there'd be a helmet and the ear mask would be like sticking through the actual helmet? And that's just to make stuff look more cleaner. Graphics. Redesign the weather condition display system on the player's client. Fix bugs that led to unpredictable weather conditions and raid in certain cases. Improve cloud visuals. Cloud react to the weather changes more realistically. Updated FSR technology to version 3.0. So AMD users get excited. Remove support for FSR version 1.x. Switch the in-game season to summer. We're in summer. No more rain. The no rain what? No rain and the wipe of AKs. Improve the environment sound system. Developed a component that tracks the position and rotation of the listener and moves the source along a predetermined curve. Changing. Okay, before I read any more, fucking. Every time they change sound, it's always painful. All right? Like, I'm talking, it's just never been a good change. I've never gone, sounds better. Like, shit, here we go again. Is a perfect sentence. There is no way they added a new sound system and it's not a shit show. It'll be different this time, I swear. All right. Changing not only in the position of the source, but also its exposure angle. By changing the exposure angle of the sound, it becomes more natural. Implemented a large number of different sound sources to enhance immersion. For example, the flow of water through pipes on factory, the rats running in the vents, and many small details that are randomly played at specific points. From the fall of pebbles to the interference of electricity in the generator, and the air coming out of the boilers on a summer's winter's day. I feel like they tried to write a poem. As he caressed my hair as I went through the factory, I heard the noise of the rats running through the drains, the water flowing through the pipes. Sound system performance, optimization, occlusion calculation, algorithm adjustment. Who the fuck wrote that sentence? Sound system performance, optimization, occlusion calculation, algorithm adjustments. They fucking hate me. I don't have the best words. All right, I can't speak the best. But that's a Google Translate for me. Transferred the whole algorithm to multi-threaded calculations. Finalized the search and calculation of the angle between the source and the listener. Improved the use of depth to determine its effect on the sound. Improved the curves tuning, which is responsible for volume decay and sound propagation in complex geometric locations. With these sound adjustments, the overall sound is smoother with a better grasp of the sound source location. How about we just go, let's see. I would have rather them say, no, I wouldn't have rather them say it, but honestly, if they just said sound, we change shit. I would have just been like, yep. Okay. Active headset adjustments. Improve the separation of sound, weapon sounds, and other sounds into different compressor channels. Added the splitting of sound subgroups and increased the number of customized parameters for more control. Adjusted the frequency response, noise reduction levels, and compressor values, as well as their technical specification to match the specs of the real headsets. Recorded the real active headsets that are used in the game, the sound of shooting and environmental sounds in them to allow further fine-tuning, position of sounds, distance awareness, and the sound of in-game active headsets were noticeably improved. All headsets have their own unique equalization, resulting in different sound for all headsets. Now, I've actually used two different types of headsets in my life, like when I was in the military. If I was to be honest, depending on very small situations, active hearing doesn't make you hear better. It just means that you have sound protection from a gun shooting off next to your eardrum and you can still talk to your mate next to you, right? That's generally speaking. I don't put a headset on going, I'm going to fucking hear the enemy so much better now. It's like in a situation where like there's a corridor and someone's just talking normally at the end of the corridor and you're looking down that corridor with a headset on, you'll hear them crystal clear because the audio like ricochets through the corridor to your active hearing. But that's like the only real situations where it's like really like you hear people way better. But in all seriousness, it's mostly just to save your fucking hearing while shooting guns next to you while still being able to yell at the person next to you. But hey, let's see how this goes. let's go with this. Optimistic for like improvements, not expecting miracles. I've never had faith in sound and BSG since early days. It could be amazing. Let's hope so. Any improvement's an improvement, but whatever we get, we'll have to wait and see. Anti-cheat update. Implemented protection against a series of exploits related to monitoring loot on players' locations using forbidden software. Implemented protection against a series of exploits related to network synchronization and unfair movement using forbidden software. So hopefully this means no more speed hacks and flying. Hopefully this means that they can't go, hey, give us your fucking LATEX in your butthole and I won't kill you. All right. I don't really like reading through the list of changes because they're usually just very fucking painful. Pick the incorrect display of KD in short and full profile statistics. Why can't they separate KD to deaths to players, kills to and deaths to PMs to AI? See, I think that's pretty much like they're all the small things. Fix the insurance letter storage time of the Unheard edition. They better keep it at 14 days. All right, so that's patch 0.15. I think there's some really cool stuff in there. No new map lame. Okay, let's just quickly go over. You can talk in chat and let your grievances go, but the only one map to go, guys. The only map to go is Terminal. When they finish Terminal, 1.0 comes out. So that's what's with that. But yeah, factory rework. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Making it a little bit bigger. It's my favorite map. You get straight into action. If they can add an extra player or two and some more loot, it's big win for me. New boss. We'll have to wait and see. Not completely excited over it because I don't like the idea that I'm not going to be able to know that the boss is about to kill me. I hate the idea I'm just playing the game normally and then the goon shoots me from the back of the head and I never had a chance to actually fight. So new boss. Hopefully it's not as painful as it sounds, but we'll have to wait and see. Karma system. I'm probably like on the fence if I think it's a good idea or not. I just hope it doesn't massively affect how people can play the game. I like the idea that in Tarkov, in the world of Escape from Tarkov, you can be whatever you want to be. As long as you're sticking to the rules of the actual game, as in like, you're not using cheats. Like, if you want to be a dude climbing up a tree and shooting people as you're walking past, good on you. Proud of you. Or if you want to be a double Q Chad, good on you. If you want to loot billion rubles every wipe, good on you. Like, as long as it's, don't take the sand out of the sandbox. Agreed. So, as long as it doesn't cripple the playstyle of some players, but, might hinder them a little bit, I'm okay with that. The map-to-map trail thing, I think, is very gimmicky. Not super excited for that, besides the fact that it gives an achievement and it's like a challenge. But I want to know more about it before I can really comment any more than that. Tripwires don't sound as painful as they probably initially were. I'm more worried about claymores than I am tripwires. Let's put it that way. Tripwires, putting a grenade down, you still got the fuse time. You can still run away. You can shoot it. You can extract, you can get away from it. I think that'll be cool. It's like a cool idea. Claymores, I'm not super keen on. But tripwires, I think I can get behind. Bipod and weapon mounting is going to be really sick. New hideout zone, always keep a new hideout. The gear rack sounds sick. It sounds like the Rust quick change system. Hideout zone, the Cultist circle, sounds like a fun little gamba. AI enemy reaction system. Seems like it's going to be interesting for PvE. New weapons, Uzi, the 50 cal Deagle, the SR3M, which is kind of like a VSS, and then the M60 machine gun should be cool. And then a lot of those quality life improvements. The scope changing is going to be sick. The hotkeys with grenades and that I think should be really cool. And some balancing changes and stuff on top. Not the biggest wipe we've ever had, but I think a lot of dubs and then some ifs, maybes, and we'll have to wait and sees. But, it's probably the next... I'm feeling like either the wipe at Christmas time, because it's going to be a short wipe, right? So the next wipe they said is going to be around Christmas time. So in about 4 months' time, I'm feeling that this is either going to be... Like 1.0 will either have to be Christmas or the patch after it. If not, I don't know what we're waiting on. Like, what else do they have to add to this game that they've said they wanted to add that isn't in the game yet, kind of thing? Like, if they don't add 1.0 by either the next wipe or the wipe after, I don't know what's going on in life. There's no way it's this year. Like, I think it's less than likely that it's the next wipe. But yeah, they're not adding open world. They've already said that. They said they cut a lot of things off their list. And from their list that they had left, this is pretty much everything. So why does it matter so much? Because I want to finish Escape from Tarkov and extract from it and play the actual campaign of all the quest line. It's meant to be like an 80 to 120 quest line with cinematics where you escape from Tarkov and then you finally escape. And then I can uninstall Tarkov and I can, I don't know, go fucking be a farmer. All right? But until I have 1.0, I can't do that. All right? I can't move on in life. I'm stuck here. And I'm waiting for the next wipe with you guys. And we're on the copium. And it is what it is. Anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment. Let us know what you're excited about. I'll be doing a subathon over the next 10 days. Giving away a computer every second day. Jump into the stream. New shaker. New shaker right here. Use code Pestily at checkout for 10% off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the ad that was in this YouTube video. And usual drill, subscribe. We're going to be having a lot of fun this wipe. Pestily TV channel. We'll be putting up the hardcore series. It'll be starting around the end of the month. So there's already the PvE series up there. And there's the end of the 7 Days to Die series that I did. All right, much love. Lastly, see you next time.